All right, well, today's lesson is on the Offertory of the Mass. And what I want to do before we do anything else, though, is to look at some of the sacred vessels and the other objects that are going to be used in this second and most important part of the Mass. All right, so we're going to go through just very briefly here some of the objects that are used in the second part of the Mass, and particularly some of the sacred vessels that we use. So the principal vessel for the Holy Sacrifice is going to be the chalice. The chalice, which is supposed to have a cross on it. This allows the priest to know which side to drink from all the time. Helps with the purifications. And the paten which is used to hold the host, particularly after the consecration. So these two are put together and then veiled for the use at Mass. So on top of the chalice, keeping the paten from scratching it, is the purificator, is a linen which is used to obviously purify the chalice, especially after Mass. And then the host with the paten are put on top of that, and then the pall, which covers it, is put on top, and then everything is veiled. We veil sacred things in church, such as the chalice, the tabernacle, and women. And then in the burse on top is put the corporal. The corporal is a triple folded linen which is used to then lay on the altar so that the body of Christ, the corpus, can rest on it, on the corporal. So this is the principal vessel that's used. Then, of course, if the hosts are being consecrated for us, for the people to receive, that is, Holy Communion, then extra hosts are placed in a ciborium, which looks like a chalice, but it has a lid, and that is what holds the bread that becomes the body of Christ. It's also used to reserve the Blessed Sacrament in the tabernacle. Also during communion, the servers may use a paten. It's like the paten that is used by the priest, but this paten has a handle on it usually and is used to make sure that the host does not fall when communion is being distributed. And then also used in the preparation of the altar and the preparation of the priest prior to the offering of the sacrifice, there are cruets that are used. These are used to hold the water and the wine that is used to be mixed in the chalice, and then also, of course, to wash the priest's hands. And of course, we also have the lavabo bowl and towel, the finger towel, which are used by the priest when he is washing his hands at the altar. Okay, so at this point in the Mass, after we've prayed the Creed and the prayers of the faithful, sometimes a collection is taken, but we present bread and wine at the altar, and the priest then offers them on our behalf. And he's going to say two prayers when he's at the altar offering the bread and wine, to which we respond, "Blessed be God forever." And then the priest is going to incense the gifts, and he's going to incense the altar in order to bless them before they're offered and offer that incense to God. And then he is going to wash his hands. Now, the reason the priest washes his hands is because of how important it is that the priest be holy, be pure, be sinless when he is offering the holy sacrifice. And of course, as a priest all the time. And so that's why he does what he does. He symbolically washes his hands to symbolize that he is supposed to be pure, and that we're supposed to be pure if we're going to participate in Mass and well, which is why we should go to confession so often. He's going to offer the bread and the wine. He's going to offer the incense. He's going to wash his hands. And then he is going to turn and he is going to say to you, "Pray, brethren, that my sacrifice and yours may be acceptable to God, the Almighty Father." To which you respond, "May the Lord accept the sacrifice at your hands for the praise and glory of his name, for our good and the good of all his holy church." There's something very important going on here which we need to understand as Catholics. The priest and the people have two different roles in the Mass. They play two different parts in the Mass, but they're still offering one Mass together in different ways. The priest has the essential part, but you, the people, participate in that in a very important way. So when we're offering bread and wine, remember that bread and wine is from y'all, and it symbolizes you, and you should be offering yourselves with the bread and wine on the altar by the hands of the priest. So every morning when you pray your morning offering, you should be offering your whole day, your whole life to Jesus. And at the Mass, you do that as well. You bring it all together and you present yourself to God at this point of the Mass and give yourself to God in a special way in the offertory, because that's what this part of the Mass is our offering to God from the things that He's given us, the bread and wine, and that we offer it back to Him, which He is then going to turn into His own body and blood and feed us with.